What is up, people? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. Today we talk about, very briefly, a couple stories out there. The first of which is all around the next CSGO major, not the upcoming one, brought to us by ESL One, which will be supposedly in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, which I'm super excited for. What could be, if it all works out, one of the best majors, I think, in the history of CSGO. We talk about the one after that, which has now been hinted at twice, apparently could be in China, to be held and hosted along the lines, of course, in Perfect World's region of CSGO, as they announced that many years back now they're operating of CSGO in China. But it could be, yes, a Chinese CSGO major for the first time ever, at least been hinted at twice, first of which by Perfect World themselves, who in a great, beautiful video, they have done this before. They've actually had a few releases of their own with hints at future things in this video as well, brought to us by Flora. She did catch it on those little light up things. You can actually see the translation where it does say major, maybe insinuating, maybe hinting at the fact that Perfect World, aka the Chinese CSGO, could be having a major sometime soon. Now, with it as well, it's also another account out there known as Polish Leaks, which is probably not a reliable source in itself, but partnered up with, of course, Perfect World themselves, hinting at a major. It makes the Chinese CSGO major potentially, I would say, a possibility out there, given though the current outbreak status of the coronavirus, in the Chinese and Asian region and across, the entire world, seeing cases here and there. Would that interrupt plans for later this year for another CSGO major to be in China? It certainly could. So I bring you guys the second question. If not a major in China, could we see one somewhere else hosted by Blast Pro? Yeah, I never thought, especially going back to last year, the year before, I never thought amidst Blast Pro trying to, at least at some point in time, take over the entire CSGO tournament scene, that I would be sitting here and saying, I think they deserve it. I mean, the progress they have made from 2018 to 2019 to now 2020 has been insane. You guys remember a year back, I think it was towards the tail end of 2018, but also into 2019, where people, myself included, were like, hey, you're trying to exclusively run all of these individual tournaments out there and kind of take over the entire tournament scene for CSGO. I don't like that. They've kind of reeled things back a little bit. Every now and again, they change their format. As of recently as well, when it comes time for actual production quality, broadcast quality, studio quality, they have made so many improvements for all the, especially if you guys have watched the Blast Pro Spring Series. It's phenomenal. It looks amazing, and I love seeing, of course, the teams kind of play in that setting. The walkout, of course, they play right next to each other or across from each other as well. It's an amazing thing to see the progress they have made so far from hosting those first Blast Pro events, which were critiqued so heavily and still have been from time to time, especially for their format, sometime their venue. But now we see 2020 Blast Pro really taking off, really doing some great things, especially amidst the fireback between Flashpoint League and ESL. Blast Pro League, yes, they're still going to host their own CSGO league, whether or not they get a major. They've been sitting back. They haven't been a part of the line of fire, and they've been doing just fine. I will say this. I agree with Decay, who I think was one of the first to bring it up. I do think if there's not going to be a Chinese major hosted by PGL, which is definitely going to be your typical probably go-to over there, I would say, yeah, I would love to see a Blast Pro major. I think they deserve it, and that's me right now. My opinion could change. But what do you guys think about this? And also, secondly out there, something we talk about, speaking of majors, every single major we see this. Now, we typically don't see it, though, with your top tier pros, but I swear to you guys, every time the minor qualifier runs for the major starts, at least once a year, we see teams who simply forget that apparently this day they are trying to qualify for what could be the biggest event of their year if they do manage it. That's going to be a guy like Bialy, who took to Twitter a couple days ago to actually announce that he and his roster forgot to sign up. All of them. All 5 grown men, if they have any staff or friends too, they all 5 somehow forgot, hey, today we try and qualify to eventually make what could be our biggest it's their biggest qualifier of the entire year. I do not understand. I don't want to be too angry. By the way, for anyone curious, I do not believe his mixed lineup with Bialy is anything close to what Taz and Neo are going to spearhead for their new Polish project, and probably understandably so now. How do you have 5 grown men on the same day, even leading up to that? How do you wake up and forget, oh, today we try and qualify for the biggest event of the year? That baffles me, especially when you consider it's your job to wake up and play CSGO. Yeah, they might not be signed to an organization, might not have any staff to remind them of it, but you got to think, if you're an up-and-coming, and these are not up-and-comers, Bialy himself, a very experienced and a grown man in the scene, should know when you wake up, hey, I'm playing a pretty big game today. I probably should remember the procedure of what to do as well. I just wish he wouldn't have tweeted this at all, because I wouldn't be talking about it, and I don't think anyone would have noticed if he hadn't tweeted a single thing. Yes, him and his mixed team probably very unlikely to even make it to the closed qualifier or to the European minor, but still, the fact you make it public that you forgot about it, I think it makes it look all the worse. Like, what do you guys think? But either way, besides that, kind of trying to go into some better news, that does mean, yes, we have all these minor qualifiers underway. That does soon mean here on this channel, we'll be reaching peak form yet again for the 2 times we do every single year as we lead into the minors and eventually the major qualifier and the major. I just get excited thinking about it. I cannot wait to break down what teams make it to where here on this channel, guys. So make sure to keep in touch as I keep you all posted on all of that. Hopefully all the other teams that will be making the European closed qualifiers or other closed qualifiers and eventually minors are not forgetting to sign in to actually play. Until next time, hope you guys all enjoy. I'll be back here for the next couple of days breaking down esports gaming news, and of course back here all next week as well. Until next time, take care. Okay, goodbye.